I remember a very special person saying to me, "You are not broken." And the effect that had on me to hear and receive those words in that moment, and the ripple effect those words, "You are not broken," had on my past, and therefore how I showed up in my future. When we have experienced sexual trauma, or when we have experienced a situation in our life that has damaged how we feel about ourselves, how safe we feel in our own skin, then we can perceive ourselves to be broken. We can perceive ourselves to be tainted. We can perceive ourselves to be dirted, to be shamed, and unfixable. We can even say to others that we are so broken that it is going to take us a long time to get over. And so we even define how long it may take us, that it may take a lifetime, or that we may never be fixed. But what if we are not broken? What is the fixing? When we have experienced sexual trauma or an event that has altered or knocked or damaged how safe we feel in our own skin, how we sink into and be in our own body or our sexuality or our sensuality, how safe we feel in our environment and the world around us, when we experience this knock, it does not mean that that has to define us, that it becomes our identity. It does not mean that that situation, that event that happened in our life has to affect and control and manipulate and define the rest of our lives and who we are for the rest of our lives. We are not broken, and therefore we do not need fixing. All that is needed when we have experienced sexual trauma or when we have experienced some traumatic event, whether that be an operation that has changed the way we feel about our body and how safe we feel in our body and our environment, when we have experienced that, is about being able to meet the trauma, to meet the pain, to meet it and be able to hold it so that we can move forwards. It's a resistance. We suddenly have a resistance, however huge or however small that will be, a resistance to feeling our sexuality, a resistance to being in our body, a resistance, an uncomfortable resistance to being in the world. And gradually, step by step, we can meet each part of our being, meet our sensuality, meet our sexuality, meet our body, and begin to build up that trust and that safe container again, so that then once we have that, we can feel that we can be in our environment, to be in the world around us and to meet others. But the journey really does begin by knowing that you are not broken and therefore you do not need fixing. There's a resistance to being in your body and being in your sensuality, your sensual world and your sexuality, because of the traumatic event that shook your world and ripped you out of it. And so the way is to tenderly, kindly, gently, step by step, meet each of those resistances and allow a new experience to come in so that the body realizes, but it's not happening, it is something that happened, and the nervous system can calm down so that this feeling that it is still happening is not there. You are not broken, and you do not need fixing. All we need is tenderness, kindness, and the desire to meet one's self in a new, lovable, kind way, and to not define how long that would take, or even define ourselves by our sexual trauma.